Hi guys, it's Christian and
Michelle.
Yeah! Okay, so today my love has decided she is ready. And so we're going to do the video that actually we had talked about doing a little while ago and said we were just going to postpone a little bit. So she's going to go into some of the stuff that she had to go through and deal with and survive and learn from to get here. So this is kind of this is we talked about. We talk about serious stuff, and this is one of those things. So I'm going to turn it over to the love of my existence and.
I guess that's me.
That's right. I watched The Voice. I finger. That's right. Me and Blake. He doesn't know.
All right. So. So this is really raw for me. I've actually needed to take some notes because I get a little flustered when I start talking about really personal subjects. Christian's much more clear-headed when he's discussing things that he's had to experience. I'm not quite as adept at this as he is. So I'm going to probably sound a little shaky or get maybe even a little bit emotional. You'll just have to put up with me. And having Christian sitting next to me helps being able to do this. But this is my story. So I was raised... Oh, thank you.
You got this, baby.
Thank you.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I appreciate it. So I was raised in a religious organization that I've come to personally recognize as having very strong cult associations. I don't choose to identify which religion that is. If you happen to figure it out on your own based upon things that I've said, you're welcome to message us if you have any questions. But I'm not going to call out any particular group because that's not my intent. But I was raised what I have been familiar with as a fourth generation religious cult member, which means that it went back as far as my great-grandmother. And it's all I've ever known, or at least it was all that I ever knew. Everybody that I ever had any kind of contact with, friends, family, they were all part of this organization, and that was the way I was raised. You had to keep yourself separate from everybody else. So primarily what I want to focus on from that aspect of it is that although the indoctrination, which I don't call oppressive, I call it repressive. It's repressive simply because it holds people back from being their true selves. Some people may have felt that it was oppressive. I don't choose to see it that way because I do believe that there were aspects of this belief system that actually gave me a lot of what I call useful tools. It taught me some really valuable lessons. I think it instilled in me some really beautiful qualities that I think I already contained as a person, but it helped me to know how to focus them in useful ways so that I could be most useful in being helpful to other people, because that really is my main goal, is to be helpful.
And she's amazing at it. Amazing.
So that was my life for about 45 years. And then I woke up. And in the process of that whole experience, I had met my ex-husband, had 2 beautiful children, and that was my entire life. It was everything. And then literally there was circumstances that led up to it. But one day I literally woke up and I was a different person. And I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to being the person that existed literally the day before and 45 years before that. It was like I had transformed into a new individual. And that period of time encompassed me coming to a realization that the person that I was married to wasn't going to be the person that I needed to be able to be true to myself, to be honest about where I needed to go in life and who I needed to eventually become. I don't hold that against him. He's been a victim of the indoctrination too, but I hold him responsible simply from the standpoint of, if you have truly a life partner, then they're not ever going to hold you back from being your true self.
You celebrate that if you want them to reach it.
And that, unfortunately, was not my experience. But again, I have to look at all of those circumstances that I faced in life, and I really can literally like look back and watch the progression of events that have happened in my life that ultimately led me to meeting this person sitting next to me right now.
Yeah, me.
Yay, me. And how grateful I truly am that Christian came into my life at the time that he did. We were both at a point where we were ready to have this kind of relationship. We were capable of having this kind of relationship. And I'm so grateful, again, that he came into my life when he did, because one of the biggest struggles that I've had to ever face in my entire life is because of the religious connections. I've lost my 2 daughters. Not physically, they're still alive. And I've had the blessing recently of actually kind of having a little bit of interaction with at least my youngest daughter.
It's been awesome.
But it's been the biggest pain I've ever experienced, is losing my children, because they are truly the most precious possession that I have. And so Christian's been here through that process of helping me. I mean, he's been such an amazing support and caring, loving, strong individual.
Thank you, baby.
Walking me through the beginning processes of not only healing on my own as an individual, but giving me the strength to endure until that time frame comes when my girls and I can have another opportunity at having a healthy relationship.
She's so strong. Oh my God. Indescribable.
But so ultimately I decided to walk away from my life, literally everything in my life, about 7 or 8 months ago. It was in June of last year. And I always knew that there had to be somebody out there that knew how to love me the way I needed to be loved. I knew that there had to be somebody out there that I could love the way I always wanted to love them.
Oh, it's amazing.
But because of the journey and the pain that journey can sometimes create, I had started to believe that love wasn't real, that it didn't exist. And yet it existed inside of me. And so it was very confusing, because the emotion was very real inside of me, but I had never experienced it unconditionally, except for what turned out to be my best friend, who I think was also a part of that journey. He taught me what unconditional love looked like. so that when I actually met it, it wouldn't scare the hell out of me. Literally, like...
Still a little scary at first. What?
Well, but you know, when you've never seen something, you don't know what it looks like.
Is this real?
It's hard to trust it, right?
Actually, we're going to talk about fear next time.
But because I couldn't shut off the idea that I knew what love was because it was inside of me. I couldn't close my heart off, even though I genuinely probably tried several times to just not be emotionally available to other opportunities or options. And it's because they weren't the right person. And that's just the truth. But I was somehow able to keep my heart open. And I believe that all of those steps that we take throughout our lives are the path that leads us to a place where we have the opportunity to make decisions for ourselves that can ultimately be the foundation of what is a new life for us individually. And I chose to take it. I chose to be open to it.
Yay!
And I'm going to tell you, I mean, it was terrifying. Terrifying. It was some of the most intense conversations Christian and I ever had as we were working through the process of recognizing that there was something very different about this connection that we had, and to not allow the past, the nigglies, as Christian calls them, to interfere with the process that was happening. And so, to me, it's really the ultimate path that led me to here. And so I can't look back on any of it. The pain, the loneliness, the despair, the feelings of hopelessness, depression, anxiety that would shoot me through the roof sometimes. I can't look back on any of those things. The loss. And I don't regret it. I wish that some things were different, but you know what? They are different. They're going to be different from this point forward. My future is a different future now, and that includes what that's supposed to look like even with people that I love, such as my children. I see it as a new and wonderful opportunity to move forward. So it's actually, despite all of the pain, it's brought me to a place where I'm much more hopeful and much more grateful, and I feel much stronger. It's amazing what having a true partner provides for you.
It is. It is.
He's truly my rock, the love of my life. He's my twin flame. He is my soulmate. I believe now that this is exactly where my life was leading me to. And I had lots and lots of life lessons that I needed to learn to be prepared for when this came along.
Me too.
So, I'm so proud of myself. I can get emotional.
Oh my God! I'm so proud of you. Beast.
And I got my hair cut, and I'm fussing with it.
So like rough on that.
Yeah, whatever.
Baby, that was amazing. Thank you so much. It's not all easy even when you get there, and I don't like the phrase of you have to work at it. Come on in, buddy. Our friend Jonathan is here. Oh,
You want to go open the door?
hold on. Oh, okay.
Well,
You want to finish up? Can you go get the door?
Yes, I'll go get the door.
Okay, thank you. Teamwork makes the dream work. Can you tell that these are scripted and well rehearsed? So, what was I saying? Oh, that it's not easy when you get there. It's not work, but you have to pay attention. You have to be mindful and put stuff into it. I'll be right with you, Mr. Jonathan. And so we're going to talk next time about fear and fear in the past, fear, insecurities, and how they can get into this process, and then how we deal with them and how we get through them and then come out on the other side stronger every time. So we love you guys. Wait, here she comes. On behalf of myself and Michelle and our friend Jonathan, who's behind you.
Hi, Jonathan.
There comes the hand. Here comes yeah. That's 6'6" of love right there.
That's right.
Okay,
Beautiful soul.
We will talk to you guys later. We love you so much.
Thank you for hearing me.
Share, like, subscribe, and get in contact if you'd like to. We love you guys. Peace.
Bye.
Oh, wait. There it is.